Right now, NBC 26 live at 5, a robbery at a business in Appleton. Police still searching for the suspect. Plus, airports and shopping malls across the country packed on Christmas Eve. And get pulled over, but get Christmas dinner instead? Happening now, police are looking for a suspect in an Appleton robbery that happened last night before 6:30. NBC 26's Max Grossfeld has more.
Appleton police say someone made off with some money after robbing a store at knife point on the 2400 block of West College Avenue. Police say the suspect is a man with a heavy build. They say he was wearing a dark-colored jacket and scarf during the robbery. People who work in the area tell us they were surprised this happened close by. They say it's normally safe. U-Break iFix employee Dustin Unertl says he originally thought someone had accidentally tripped an alarm nearby.
That's a little interesting. A totally different scenario. If we would have known exactly what was going on, probably would have taken it a little differently than we did last night.
Fortunately, no one was injured in the robbery. If you have any tips, please contact the Appleton Police Department. Keeping you connected in Appleton, Max Grossfeld, NBC 26.
Also, if you do have any information, please contact the Appleton Police Department. Crews in Green Bay call off the search for a body after a man fell through the ice on the East River. Firefighters are warning people to stay off the ice. Authorities say we haven't had weather cold enough for solid ice, especially on rivers with strong currents. And officials in Wapaka County say one person is in the hospital today after a crash. They say it happened in the town of Farmington when a sports vehicle hit a culvert on the median heading eastbound on Highway 10. It then hit a sedan heading west on the highway before ending up in the ditch. The driver of that sports vehicle was sent to Theta Care. Well, the busiest day for Santa is upon us as he gets ready to head out and drop off those presents. Gino Recchia took a look at his itinerary. He's also got your first forecast as well. Gino, what's going on?
That's right. Well, Santa's not anywhere nearby in North America. We have to travel all the way to Africa. That is where he is enjoying probably the mild temperatures as well in the 70s and 80s over the Western Sahara near Monrovia. Santa's moving up northward. Eventually, we'll be reaching Portugal and the UK before swinging on over to the United States and Canada. What I do think Santa's not going to do is stick around parts of Green Bay for a long time because we got some cold air heading in. Wind chill advisories across all of northeast Wisconsin. I'll have more details coming up with a full forecast.
All right, he's got a long trip ahead of him, Gino. All right, coming to America now. President Trump sent Christmas greetings to American troops around the world today. He's spending the holidays at his Florida estate where he spoke via video conference to the members of the U.S. Armed Forces. Now, the president greeted members of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard stationed in Qatar, Kuwait, and Guantanamo Bay.
This most precious holiday, we're grateful for each of you who spend this Christmas away from your families and defend all of our families, our freedoms, and our flag. Every American heart is thankful to you, and we're asking God to watch over you and to watch over your families.
And President Trump also had a discussion with the troops in private as well. The 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has ruled the last version of the travel ban violates federal law. The three-judge panel said the travel ban exceeds the president's authority. The judges also say the ban does not adequately say why people from certain countries are a danger. This is the third time a ruling has been made against this ban, but it's still in effect. The Supreme Court issued the month earlier saying the travel ban can be enforced while challenges to the policy make their way through the legal system. So you get pulled over, but instead of getting a ticket, you get Christmas dinner. Well, that's what's going on in one Wisconsin town. Bridget Curran has this story.
You kind of weren't fully stopping before you came to the stop sign.
Apology accepted.
Thank you.
The Altoona Police Department turned traffic stops into gift drop-offs Thursday. Of course, probable cause had to be present before the pullover.
Stop.
Is this for the ham, or did I really roll through?
You did a little bit. It's just we're doing the most minor things we can find.
Paper tickets were replaced with edible delights.
Handing some out.
That is really, really, really kind.
All thanks to a secret Santa of sorts.
An anonymous donor gave $500 to the Altoona Police Department, who bought 26 hams to give out to members of the community.
In hopes to bring 26 smiles to their faces on Christmas.
Copy traffic stop.
Each stop
Speeding too.
was a blessing to both parties,
People love ham, so it's one thing that we can kind of do to help out the community.
which is why it only makes sense officers dubbed this
Here's your
operation
driver's license back.
Ham a Merry Christmas.
Such a kind gesture, and this isn't the first time the Altoona Police Department has done something like this. Back in 2014, officers hand out $100 bills to traffic violators. Well, 2 snowy owls have been rescued from the Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh since a new rule took effect. The changes started when wildlife workers became upset when a snowy owl was killed with a legal permit because of how close it was to the airport runway. Wildlife workers will now catch the owls when possible, tag them, and release the birds away from the airport. And dozens of people are catching those last-minute flights just in time for the holidays. This was a scene at Los Angeles' LAX airport on Saturday. Now, some getting dropped off, others making it home for Christmas just in the nick of time. Now, lines at LAX may appear to be slow, but they were actually moving pretty fast from what some reports are telling us. All flights leaving out of the airport are scheduled on time. Now, many people say gift cards make the easiest Christmas presents, but according to some reports, it can be pretty risky. Many times, gift cards have already been hacked before you even buy them. There are always ways to stop that from happening, like buying gift cards online instead of store racks. And if you do get one in person, get them from behind the counter. Also, use a credit card for payment instead of a debit card or cash, and change the security code as soon as you buy it. While some people are set on buying gift cards as presents, others still haven't really made up their minds. Hundreds stopping by the Fox River Mall in Appleton for some last-minute shopping, trying to find that very special gift. But one shopper we spoke with says despite those last-minute efforts, everything looks like it's going to go pretty smoothly.
People were relatively polite. It was pretty nice in there. Not too bad, not too crowded. A good day.
And people we spoke with say while last-minute shopping can be stressful, what makes it fun is the people-watching part. Well, still ahead on NBC 26 Live at 5, a Christmas card from a little girl goes viral with the help from Santa. But first, what's the weather going to look like for the rest of the weekend? Your forecast up next.
And now, your Storm Shield forecast from NBC 26.
We had a little bit of some light snowfall on this Christmas Eve. Nice coating on the roofs and roads just in time for the Christmas and festive holiday season. Temperatures right now holding on to 18 degrees, so it's not too bad with a light wind out of the west at 3 miles per hour, so not much of a wind chill factor. And down in Appleton, very similar, 19 degrees with a light wind out of the west and southwest at about 6 miles per hour. Elsewhere across northeast Wisconsin, down towards Sheboygan, 19 degrees this evening. Antigo, 13. They're the cool spot. And then you're talking about winds coming in from the west and southwest at about 6 miles per hour. Antigo has the coolest wind chill at only 3 degrees is what it feels like. Now this is going to be balmy compared to what's going to be happening in the next 24 to 48 hours. It is going to get cold. And when I mean cold, wind chills between minus 20 to near minus 30. This will be the coldest air mass so far this season has seen. And it is only going to continue through Wednesday. So yes, tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning will be very chilly days. Make sure to dress appropriately. We don't want to hear anything about frostbite or hypothermia out there, because certainly if you stand outside for quite a bit of time, you will be seeing that certainly within a half hour or so. Wind chill advisory in effect until Wednesday afternoon, except Menominee County for the UP of Michigan. Everyone else in our viewing area under that advisory. So that means I think Santa is going to be bringing a very quick stop over northeast Wisconsin. Right now moving closer towards Monaco and eventually crossing over the Atlantic Ocean into parts of Europe before turning over into Canada and down towards the United States. Where we do anticipate Santa to arrive right around Green Bay is about 1:30, but it's all dependent on the weather. There's some snowfall that he has to come through in parts of the southern Great Lakes, and maybe a little bit of a headwind might slow him down just a tad. But don't worry, the presents will be arriving. I just talked to him a few hours ago. Snowfall moving out of the area right now as we speak. We should be seeing some clearing skies, so that is some very good news, but it's going to get cold. It's that cold from behind it that'll be pushing in cold air, but sunny skies for the next few days. So if there is any silver lining, it is some sunshine in that forecast. As for tonight, we'll cool down to about 2 degrees in Green Bay, -4 in Antigo, Sheboygan down to 7. Any lingering flurries should be ending by tomorrow morning. And then for tomorrow, it is going to be cold. We are only expecting highs for Christmas Day in the single digits. And some of us may be near 10 degrees down to the south towards Sheboygan and Fond du Lac. Winds out of the west at 10, 15 miles per hour, upwards of 25 miles per hour. That is going to make those wind chills down into the single digits to perhaps -15 to -25 degrees below 0 degrees. And of course, with temperatures that cold tomorrow, it's going to get even colder tomorrow night into Tuesday. Tuesday I have as the coldest high temperature, at least for the 7-day forecast. A little bit of some snowfall Thursday into Friday. And then behind that, another round of some cool air. But boy, talk about a cold air mass sinking right in here just in time for the kickoff of the new year. So if you have any gloves, jackets that you need, hopefully tomorrow Santa gives those presents that you certainly need for this 7-day forecast.
Not only that, essentially you got to dress up like Santa to avoid all this cold.
Oh, for sure. I can only imagine how many layers that guy is wearing.
Layer up, like you said, guys.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. You'll still ahead on NBC 26 Live at 5. A Christmas card from a little girl goes viral with a little help from Santa. That's going to come up right after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. A 9-year-old girl from Houston had a birthday to remember after her Christmas wish went viral. She wrote a letter to Santa and only asked him to help her family after they were impacted by Hurricane Harvey. Rosen Aragon has the story.
After the hardships this little girl and her family have faced, Betsabe Gomez was surprised with a birthday greeting unlike anything she's ever experienced.
I think it's like your heart is just full of happiness and you're happy and you're excited for like just cutting the cake and blowing out candles.
This very special girl is one that won the hearts of many when her Christmas wish went viral. She didn't ask for gifts, she asked for help for her family.
My wish is that my dad to get better because during the hurricane it started raining so hard. And that's when the rooftop fell. I don't want any toys or nothing. I just want help.
And today that help came.
I wanted to give you a few things just in case Santa doesn't give you everything you want. Would you put that in your piggy bank?
Thank you.
And would you put that in your piggy bank?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good to meet you, sweetheart.
A long line.
Thank you. I've always wanted Adidas. Really? Yeah, those are my favorite.
And words of encouragement.
I never think anybody's gonna bully me.
All I had to do was speak out.
That's right, Mama.
But the strangers who gave didn't expect they'd also receive.
She's very special. She's my little angel. You know, I just love him so much.
She's a very intelligent little girl, Desi, and she really, we could tell that she really hurts inside and she wants the best for her family.
My goal at the end of the day was to get this little girl actually a new house so that she can be proud of, and today is just about her, about
a happy birthday where her wish comes true.
This was the best birthday. My birthday wish is for everything to be as perfect as I want it.
How's it going right now?
It's going really great.
That's certainly your birthday to remember, of course. Now, a community organization has offered to patch the holes up in the family's roof and perform other repairs around that house. Also coming up in sports, could the Packers lose Aaron Rodgers? An interesting report today suggesting that's a possibility, but Chris Barrier explains why it's not going to happen after the break.
This is NBC 26 Sports.
Well, I'm sure some of you Packers fans almost spit out your eggnog this morning when seeing reports that Aaron Rodgers might get placed on waivers for violating the league's injured reserve rules. And while that would certainly shake up this town and probably the entire NFL, Doesn't look like number 12 is going anywhere. As first reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter, other teams around the league complained to the NFL that Rodgers was unfairly placed back on injured reserve after the Carolina game in Week 15. Now, believe it or not, they actually have a point. After the game against the Panthers, Rodgers was placed back on IR, but Coach McCarthy never disclosed a new injury. He only said that Rodgers was sore. Well, according to the NFL rulebook, if a player is put back on IR after returning from injury, he must have a new injury diagnosis that would sideline him for at least 6 weeks, and that wasn't the case. Otherwise, the team is obligated to release the player once he's healthy. Well, this morning, Coach McCarthy defended the team, saying, you know what, they did nothing wrong.
Frankly, I don't see any issue with Aaron Rodgers going on IR. My understanding is we communicated, followed the procedures and guidelines that you have to put a player on IR. So from our perspective, there's no issue.
And this is true. The league has the final say on all IR transactions. The NFL Management Council approved the roster move, which was submitted way back on Tuesday. So alas, take a deep breath and know that if anything, the league's really at fault here, and perhaps this would cause some rule changes in the offseason. But in the meantime, Aaron Rodgers is safe and sound in Green Bay. Speaking of injuries, Coach McCarthy also gave an update today on some of the guys that left last night's game, and it is not great. He confirmed that offensive tackle Jason Spriggs has a serious injury and will likely be placed on IR in the coming days. Aaron Jones suffered a similar knee injury from earlier in the year, just to the other side this time. Plus, Jordy Nelson and Richard Rodgers are both going through scans, and more info on them could become available by Wednesday. It's not exactly the kind of news you want heading into Christmas when you're supposed to be enjoying time with family. And Coach admitted it's kind of hard to stay focused these days.
It will not ruin Christmas. I can promise you that. But the car rides home, the time in the shower, the walk with the new dog, I should be thinking about my family. But we're going through a rough patch right now. So Merry Christmas, Jason and everybody else. Is there any other feel-good questions here? I'm about ready to cry.
McCarthy did not cry, although he was prodded a few times. A very Merry Christmas indeed. We'll try to spread a little more holiday cheer tonight at 10 o'clock when we break down last night's game and look ahead to some potential front office changes in the offseason. It's all coming up tonight on Sunday Sports Rewind. We hope to see you then.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. Up next, we're going to take a final look at your weather for the week ahead. Stay tuned. You're watching NBC 26 live at 5. Well, welcome back. So are you worried about packing on the pounds tomorrow as you feast for holiday treats? Well, here's some tips to keep in mind.
Holidays are notorious for situations you can't control. Surprises, friends, family, the traffic. But what you can control is your ability to make healthy choices. If you're looking to kickstart a healthier lifestyle, there's no better time than now. Go easy on the booze during the holidays. Adding all those extra empty calories to your diet will not help your hangover. Not only could your blood sugar skyrocket from all the additional sugar, alcohol temporarily keeps your body from burning fat. Stay active. With all the extra time off from work and school, don't just sit around all day. A study from the Annals of Internal Medicine found that people who sat for less than 30 minutes at a time had the lowest risk of an early death. Also, try not to stress out too much and don't skip sleep. The holiday season only comes around once a year, so enjoy it. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Hey guys, it's going to be really, really hard to eat healthy
Look,
tomorrow.
our colleague Max Grofeld just said it. If you can't indulge during the holidays, what's the point of the holidays?
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I'm in
We get a
favor
pass.
of packing
We get
on
a
the
pass.
calories and the pounds and the
There
New
you go.
Year's for getting rid
that's
of
why
them.
we got New Year's resolutions.
That's right. Create a higher challenge for yourself.
There you go.
Well, that's inside, but what about outdoors? What are you going to do now?
Oh, it's going to be tough to exercise outdoors after some snowfall comes through the area. We got some very bitter cold air advancing down to the south. Visibility's not too bad. We're starting to see those improve. If you got 10 miles or greater, that means that snow is pretty much done for you. Where is Santa? Well, there he is, moving over Portugal and then eventually up towards the UK. He will eventually then move down towards the United States as he crosses over at the Atlantic Ocean. Perhaps get some tailwind so he can move in a little closer. But he is not going to stick around much longer because just take a look how cold it is.
He's got a long trip. We'll see you back here at 10. Have a great night.